One of the things that I know I have talked about a lot is particularly the in and out the money strategy. I know I've been really keen on that for people to make sure that they are kind of focused on buying your options in the money as much as possible. So I want to discuss that here today. And I want to pull up a couple of things that I have for you guys. So for example, let's say the stop price, in this given example, the stop price is at 288. And we're looking at maybe a call or a put, depending on what the chart says and the technicals say. To make it very easy for people, I always buy my options in the money when it comes to like a short-term trade. And what do I consider the short-term trade? Definitely a day trade. Obviously, any trade that I make and I'm looking to sell that option within the same day, or even a month out, I consider that short-term trading. For me, long-term is like, from a trading standpoint, is anything like probably 6 months and above. Is probably a little bit on the long-term side. Definitely a year above. Any option that you buy, obviously a year until expiration is going to be a leap. So I'm always trying to buy my options in the money. So I'll tell people, like, for me, when it comes to taking a look at the options chain, I'm always looking at like, if the stock is at 288, I'm probably going to be looking at 275, 280. One of the biggest things that probably gets a lot of people is like, well, I can't really afford to buy that particular option. What I always tell people is that you don't want to try to over leverage your account, and which is why I always say account size is really, really key. So we're gonna go through a couple things today. So I want to discuss about account size and why account size is so key for people. So if I open this up right here, by a show of hands, and I want to kind of take a quick poll. I need to definitely take a quick poll. You could be completely honest. And this doesn't have to be like right now, but for I'm gonna go up leg by leg for all people that are planning on looking to start options trading at some point. It doesn't have to be now, but if you're planning on starting options trading with probably, let me do the first one, $2,000 to $3,000, $2,000 to $3,000. Let me get a one in the chat. $2,000 to $3,000 if you plan on starting options trading with $2,000 to $3,000. So we got a lot of people with that. All right, so the next level I'm gonna go up to is 5 to 10K. How many people? And we'll stop. How many people? You can put a 2 in the chat if you plan on starting with 5 to 10K. All right, we got some 2s. I see someone said last year. All right, 5 to 10K, we got some 2s. All right, next level, we're gonna do 15 to 25K. We'll put the number 3 in the chat. 15 to 25K. Put the number 3 in the chat. We got some 3s. All right, we see some 3s. All right, and last but not least, does anybody plan on starting off with more than 50,000? Put a 4 in the chat. See some 1s, and I still see some 3s. So we don't have anyone. Okay, we have 1. All right, 3. So it looks like the most that we saw for real. A couple people have 4 in here. And I definitely saw a lot of 2s and some 3s. I see someone say, "Oh, y'all got money, y'all crazy." But let me say this: account size is really going to be key when it comes to trading your particular stocks. Not everyone is going to be able to trade the same stocks. Let me say that. For the paper trading challenge, to make it kind of even, I'm going to ask everyone to do 10K for the paper trading challenge amount. So it's a lot more realistic. If you are choosing to start with more than 10K, you could definitely do it. If you were one of those people that said, "Hey, I was going to do 25,000, do 25,000." So it's a lot more realistic for you as well. But we'll get into that. But account size is really key, because what I want to show you is let me come here. All right, perfect. So as you see, you might go from a stock option, like looking at NVIDIA, to trade NVIDIA. NVIDIA might be, $2,000 to $3,000, but you might go to, Boeing, and it might be, $800, $1,000. So that's a significant decrease in the cost of purchasing options. So what I want everybody to write down, for my people that are the 2 to 3,000, I'm gonna say this: it's gonna be a lot harder to start with $2,000 to $3,000 on options now, because of how pretty much expensive they are now. If I take you back in time and show you, really when I first started trading options in 2018, you can get an options contract on Nike, and this was an in the money put. You see that cost was 49 cents, the average cost. I'm going to actually pull up here. I'm going to actually go to Nike's options chain and get you guys a quote and see how much exactly, an equivalent in the money option, particularly cost for Nike. And at that point, it was about 3 weeks away from expiration. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And as far as the inflation, I guess you want to call it inflation, if we can, on the market from an option standpoint. So I just pulled it up. I'm I'm going to share it in here in a second. But taking a look at this, you're looking at potentially a cost right now. From what I just saw, you're looking at a cost of about looks like almost $400. So options on Nike from 2018, the same style option, went from 49 cents. I bought two contracts, so I basically paid $100, and basically, I profited 126% return. But you'll notice even companies like Square, Square options at this point was like $300 a contract. But now Square's options are like, almost $1,000 on a contract. So I want to make sure that I kind of show people like, yo, you are going to need to factor in what particular stocks you're going to trade based upon your account size. So for all my people with $2,000 to $3,000, I would probably say come to the table with a minimum of probably a minimum 5K. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you're going to be putting yourself in a hole. And one of the things is that you're going to have to be putting up on most stocks. You're probably almost going to have to be putting up your entire account on a trade. And that's one rule that I want everyone to write down. And make sure you write it down also here in the chat. The number one rule that I want to tell everyone with options is, boom, do not put your entire, what you want to do not put your entire account on any trade. What platform are you saving all those shots in your journal? So this is this platform that I'm using is TradeStation. So TradeStation. I didn't know 275 was an in the money option. Yes. So vice versa. If you were looking at a put option, the 290, the 295, the 300, these will all be in the money options. And so what I want people to kind of get in the habit of is focusing on buying in the money options as much as possible. I'm going to take you guys through. And I just added another photo to this, so it'll probably load in a second. But what I want to take you guys through is showing you here. Where's it at? All right, perfect. So right here. So as you saw, when I took this screenshot, I showed you guys that, Nike used to cost, like, for those similar options, you can get them for like $40, $50, even maybe 100 max. Now you're paying for a similar in the money option on each side, whether it's one in the money on the put side or one in the money on a call side. You're paying $400. And so to be completely honest with you guys, since options has become so popular, especially even compared to when I first started, people weren't trading options as much as they are now. We know supply and demand, boom. We know demand comes with higher prices. And so what you probably, honestly, back in 2018, you probably could have started with like 2,000 to 3,000 and really done some damage. Not to say that you can't start with 2,000 to 3,000 and do some damage now. But the thing is that you have to put up so much risk that, your $1,000 account, your $2,000 account, with how much risk that you have to put up on your account, it could see some serious drawdowns. Now, for, like I said, so that minimum threshold, and I've seen someone said, a lot of people did say 5 to 10K. So I already like that area anyways, because that gives you some leeway. And I need everyone to make sure that you understand you should never put your entire account on any trade. I don't care how confident you are, how good the technicals look, how much the news sounded good, whatever. Never put up your entire account on any trade. And I want to give some parameters here for the people that are going to be within that 5 to 10K. I'm going to use the top side of that, the 10K part. You should probably be putting up no more than probably about, for people with 10K, no more than $2,000 to $3,000 on any trade. You shouldn't be putting up no more than $2,000 to $3,000. The reason why is you want to keep your risk profile pretty much as small as possible. And you don't want to over leverage your account. So $2,000 to $3,000. So at all times, when it comes to trades, I'm not using any more than 20 to 30% of my account.